Visit Santa in his grotto at the Alhambra Shopping Centre, Barnsley, now.
The new Hallam FM.
Yeah, I'll look into that one for you. That last one. Gary in Doncaster. We haven't got anybody else, so you'll do, yes?
What do you mean if something better doesn't come up?
Oh, but just what I say. Anyway, how can we help you in your search?
Hey, I've been listening to your snide remark. I've had 5 weeks of cold, and last week I were at the stage where you can't talk.
Oh.
And I'm listening to your snide remarks about phenomenon being the singular of phenomena.
Yeah.
And criteria being the plural of criterion and all this, and I thought, yeah, if I could only talk.
I know.
Especially when you dropped me the perfect clanger, and I still couldn't get on the phone to talk about it.
What was that?
This guy come on, I don't know what on it, I think he was out of his mind, but he was trying to make some point about Myra having the same amount of letters as Jesus.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was completely wrong, wasn't he?
You agreed with him.
Eh?
You agreed with him.
I think I said it didn't matter.
Well, yeah, that's an agreement, isn't it?
Oh, God's truth, don't start this. So
Hey.
this is the highlight of your Christmas, is it?
No, hey, I've got a serious question for you tonight.
Have you?
Yeah. Hey, just before I do,
Hurry up.
did you get my Bernard Manning style Christmas card?
Oh, which was that?
Oh, you would have noticed it.
Is it possible for you to describe it, or would that be...
No, it's not possible. That should describe it in itself.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hey.
What?
What, a cheap one on my photocopy?
That's the one.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I did.
It's good, isn't it?
Well, it's better than the pantomime.
I thought it was perfect for you.
Yes, thank you. Do you want me to fill a little gap by... no, I won't do that.
Anyway, this question I'm going to ask you.
All right, then.
You think that we did right to go into Europe, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you, really?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a question then.
All right.
By going into Europe,
Yeah.
it means that the government haven't got the sole power to make legislation or to alter legislation should they decide that they need to.
It doesn't matter.
Why?
Because governments don't make decisions anymore.
Yes, but
Look,
they make legislation.
Yeah, but legislation... Look, I'll just say 2 words to you before we get rid. Sunday opening. I rest my case.
The Jumbo Sale is on now at Furniture Factors. You can celebrate the new year with Furniture Factors' amazing double deal.
Right. Oh, dear. Have we no option? Right.
Hello?
Yes?
James?
What do you want?
You've got a cheek.
What do you mean I've got a cheek?
What?
I've got 4.
I never requested that song.
You did?
I didn't, and what do you mean, the dreadful Gary? How dare you?
Oh, yes, he did, didn't he, boys and girls?
Hey!
What?
Do you know what I'm doing on New Year's Eve?
Not going round to my house?
I'm going out to suck 20 quid's worth of beer, all on you, from your gags that I've won.
Oh.
First 20 quid were free on New Year's Eve, eh? Brilliant!
From the gags you've pinched.
From the gags I've nicked off you. Yeah, great, innit? Hey, I've said that were a corker what you come out with the other night, that taxi gag. Brilliant, that's in the post. If that don't win, I think, I reckon Bernard is losing his touch. Can I just come on in my defence from last night now?
I'll tell you something. There has been no sign of any appreciation
What?
of the stuff I have... Yeah.
Well, what do you want? You nicked him in first place. Listen.
I nicked them, but I gave them away.
I know. Well, whoever you nicked him off gave him away, didn't he?
Yeah, but I didn't get any money for it.
Well, that just shows that we're sometimes perhaps a little bit cleverer than what you give us credit for in this area.
Well, when it comes to money, yes.
Hey,
what?
you know that Paul in Dinnington last night?
Paul in Dinnington,
He
yes.
criticised my intellect.
Did he?
He then went on to say
here we
that
are.
12,000 kilometres was 9,000 miles approximately.
Whereas in actual fact, you've had...
In actual fact, it's 7,458. Now, even if you round it up, it's only 7,500, so...
342 yards.
That's a bit of a statement and a half, isn't it, for somebody who's knocking somebody else's intellect? Imagine what can you expect from people in Dinnington.
Oh! Ooh.
I'll tell you something else.
What?
You made a statement.
Oh.
Parliament don't make legislation anymore. And to back it up, you said
Yeah.
Sunday trading or
Yeah.
Sunday opening.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that statement, to be backed up by the second statement, is so futile, it doesn't even bear any credence.
Futile?
And all I can say is Happy New Year and boring fish.
Oh, hoist by my own petard. Well, he sure got his own back on me and no mistake. No. Right, well, he's clearly satisfied with himself. He's 20 quid better off, thanks to me. Right, well, it's the last. Tell you what, I'm going to have to clamp down on this sort of thing. I know charity has its place, but you can't be ridiculous. Right. We're going to Waterthorpe now. I can't wait to find out where this is. And Matt is there. Hello, Matt.
Top of the morning to you, James.
To you, sir. Whereabouts is Waterthorpe?
It's near Crystal Peaks.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
I understand
very
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does Waterthorpe mean?
Waterthorpe?
Yes.
What's it mean?
Yes, that's right. What does Waterthorpe mean?
It's actually, I ain't got a clue, to be honest with you.
Okay, then.
I know it's something to do with water. And,
Yes, and a Thorpe.
And a Thorpe, yeah, because
Yeah.
I know we've got a Thorpe round here.
What's a Thorpe?
It's like, is it a valley? Or an hill, or something like that? Or am I just totally wrong? And you're going to put me right?
I don't know. It's probably some Saxon word, isn't it?
Yeah. I know it's appropriate name to what we've got round here.
You got plenty of water.
Yeah,
And a few
we've got
Thorpes.
a Thorpe of some kind.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Oh well, it's the Thorpe that counts.
Oh dear. Not bad. Right.
Last night, the egregious, the unspeakable Gary from Doncaster. Or is it Alan? I can't remember now. Anyway, it's very hard to tell. Anybody from Doncaster. He was soundly embarrassed in front of hundreds of thousands of tittering punters. Well, we've got... intolerable, yeah, that's another good word. We've got some more filth on somebody else here, which I'll be delighted to share with you. And I think this is a trend which we could encourage, you see, when people come on, when people whose lives are so thin and wretched that they come on here, this is their only way of achieving a few moments self-respect, you see, so they can go down the Glazier's Arms the following day and say, hey, I told him last night on radio, on wireless, you see. Well, we can stop this. All it needs is the odd poison pen letter here, and we can demolish them. As indeed, I think you remember Alan last night went away with his tail firmly between his legs after the story of him dropping the wardrobe in the street and allowing his car to drive into the River Trent. And the photograph of him dressed up as the Incredible Hulk. So yeah, I think this is something that we will pursue, because I think something that's very important in professional broadcasting is cruelty. So we've got some more of it on one side. Now the person who's going to be seen to tonight is not only a pain in the behind, but also, well, undeniably a thief. Yeah, that's right. Steals, gags. Yes. Actually, I'm not sure whether you can steal a gag, because by so doing, do you permanently deprive the owner of it? No, you don't really. But anyway, that's not the point. And he makes money from it. Do you need any more clues? You can't have any. So that's that on standby. And some other stuff, some of it rather more serious than that. Useful, socially uplifting. Arguments for capital punishment. I know Gary reasonably well, and to call him a musician is entirely similar to calling Lawrence an interesting, knowledgeable bloke. In fact, the only association that Gary has with any organ that can be mentioned on the radio is with his artificial lung, which he received when the original was unfortunately punctured. In addition to this, the numerous letters scattered randomly after his name, posing as qualifications, are in fact anagrams of phrases which are far too vulgar for me to repeat. Although he may deny it, Gary is short, fat and skint. He also has ginger hair and a huge bushy ginger beard. He has an uncontrollable passion for computer games. All of these are qualities which I know you admire deeply. I trust that you will challenge Gary to defend himself with even more lies and to explain how he could possibly dare to con a broadcasting genius such as your good self. Thank you for your time. Yours faithfully, Peter. Yes, just as I suspected. Right, more of this after the news on Sheffield 285 2050. The news is breathing down our neck. So, oh, there's a PS which I never noticed. Well, I did, I just didn't have time to do it. P.S. Gary did buy me a drink on New Year's Eve, which he tells me I must thank you for, since he recently received the money from Bernard Manning, thanks to one of your excellent gags. Cheers. Well, thank you, Peter. That's very, very useful. Yes, the fact that Gary has made considerable financial gain at my expense is, it still rankles. I'll be perfectly frank about that. Anyway, his day will come. Don't you worry. Now then, we're off to Barnsley now, and Sean is our... Right, I can't remember who's next. Oh, is it? Oh, and so, we go to Doncaster. And Gary's there. Hello.
Hello, James, my old prejudiced friend.
Gary's gang. Yes? In fact, Gary's band.
Yeah?
Yes?
What are you rambling on about me tonight for?
Were you listening a little earlier, Garfield?
I'm always listening.
Are you? Yes.
I'll never, of course.
Yes. You have a friend called Peter.
Well, go on.
Who has told me many things about you.
Yeah, well, do you want to know who this youth is?
I'd be delighted.
He's a so-called student.
Yes.
Who's trying to learn to play the keyboards.
Yes.
And, you know what they're like. They're not much use, are they?
Oh, they're big black and white things that you run your fingers up and down, but that's not important right now.
And he's got the cheek to write about me.
He writes in considerable detail. Describes you as, short, fat and skint. Oh, I think that's very, very enjoyable, those few moments.
None of which are true. I haven't got ginger hair and a ginger beard.
A huge, bushy ginger beard.
No, it's not true. You'll find out that's not true tomorrow.
Oh, God, oh, no. No, he's not coming here. Oh, no. No. Switch on the electrified fence.
Well, I'm not saying any more than that.
What was that? That laugh was like something out of an opera.
Hey, listen. Why are you prejudiced?
Against what?
Against certain things. I was going to tell you a puzzle.
Yeah.
And you cut me off and you said, oh, we're not having any of that. I've heard about this missing pound before. There weren't even a missing pound in it.
So it's the three men in the restaurant?
Three married couples having dinner together.
All right, then, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, go on.
What, do you want it now?
Yes.
Have you got a pen there?
Yes, of course I've got a pen. I'm a journalist.
It's a bit beyond you, I think, personally, but I'll give it you nevertheless, and we'll see.
Go on, then.
I know you think you're good.
I am.
There are three married couples having dinner together.
Yeah.
George is older than Michelle's husband.
Oh.
Frank's wife is older than Nadia.
Then who?
Nadia!
George is older than...
Michelle's husband.
Michelle's husband. Was that my voice then? Yeah.
And Frank's wife is older than Nadia.
I'm only up to Michelle.
Oh, God! Hey, are you going to tell me that skunk gag? I hadn't heard that one. You mentioned it earlier on.
The skunk gag?
Yeah.
It's donkey's years old.
Well, I hadn't heard it. You never know. You can revive these old gags and win with them.
Oh, I believe so, yeah.
Where are you up to now? George is older than Michelle's husband.
Oh, that's the gag. That's the gag. Yeah. A rare. Do you remember Armand and Michaela Dennis?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to smuggle this very rare skunk into Britain in contravention of the rabies laws, you know.
Yeah.
Very rare skunk, and it's a protected species and all this sort of thing. If Armand and Michaela are listening, then you know, it's just a gag. This, please don't take any legal action. All right, an eminent zoologist and his missus. They're both eminent zoologists, and they've got they drug the skunk and they hide it. It's unconscious, you see. They hide it in a hand baggage. But as they're queuing up to go through customs, it starts to come round.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, the skunk's waking up. Skunk's waking up. He said, oh God, he said, if they find it, he said, we'll be thrown in prison, we'll be charged with smuggling a protected animal, and he said, what have you done? He says, quick, he says, Michaela, he says, get the skunk, take it out, and put it where the customs man won't be able to find it. So she said, well, what should I do? He says, put it down your knickers. She says, what about the smell? He says, well, if it dies, it dies.
Yeah, the old ones are the best.
Well, you insisted.
Well, actually, halfway through,
You realised what it was?
I realised what it was, but I thought I'll not spoil it, you know.
Oh, I do that.
Yeah, well, that's the way they get...
George is older than Michelle's husband.
Frank's wife is older than Nadia.
Frank's wife is older than Nadia. Nadia, yes.
Lynette's husband...
Lynette?
Yeah.
Lynette's husband is... What, self-employed, what?
Lynette's husband is older than George.
Older than George. Yeah.
And Michelle is not Edward's wife.
Oh. Michelle is not Edward's wife.
You got that?
I think so, yeah.
Right. The oldest man is married to the youngest woman.
Oh,
The
oldest man is married
to the youngest woman.
to the youngest woman. You've just got this out of the Sunday Times, haven't you?
Right, you got that?
You've lifted this out of the Sunday Times, haven't you?
No.
Yes, you have.
The oldest woman paid the bill.
The eldest woman paid the bill.
Yeah. Who was it?
Paid the bill. Who was it? Right, who was it?
Well, that's what you've got to tell me.
Why? You already know.
No, I don't actually. I've worked it out once, but I don't know what I did with a piece of paper.
So you've forgotten?
Yeah.
Sandra.
No. How can it be Sandra?
Well, she's not been mentioned up to now.
Come on, then, work it out.
I've not the faintest
Well,
idea.
I'll tell you
I've
what,
got the time to mither with this
Somebody will
nonsense.
ring in and tell you.
What do you think this is?
What, this?
Yeah.
This is the world's most tedious show ever. You'll put up with anything. It doesn't matter what anybody wants to come on about. James H. Reeve's the guy. He'll listen to anything. Do you know what people say? People say...
I don't know what people say.
You know what people say?
What do they say?
People say, have you ever seen that James H. Reeve?
Mm-hmm.
The Jehovah's Witnesses will bang on the door and he'll open the door and he'll stand there and he'll talk to them for hours. You know? And how do they do it? How do they do it? You know these insurance guys,
Mm-hmm.
they come round, they sit there and they try and talk you into another policy, you know, and I'm sat listening and they go on and on and on for hours. My mate said to me the other day, he says, how do you stand that for that long? I says, because I listened to James H. Reeve.
And what did he say?
He says, I know what you mean.
That's why he's your mate, is it? What's all this? This isn't the marriage of Figaro. Listen.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. We'll do away with that. Right, God, it's just a succession of clowns tonight, isn't it? Right. Okay, what else have we got? Oh, we got a very, very funny, very, very, very funny item in the post here. And I think I suggested last night that drop your mate in it might be a nice spot to introduce. Well, there are one or two patrons of the programme who are so numb that, or so desperate to get on the wireless, that they decide to drop themselves in it. And I've got a photograph here. Oh dear. A very well-known, well, he thinks he is anyway, a very familiar voice. And now we've got a face to put to it. I think he was describing something we had last night as short, fat and skint, with ginger hair and a big bushy ginger beard. Well, 3 out of 5's not bad. Anyway, if he comes on tonight, he's in terrible, terrible, terrible trouble. Oh. Right. Anyway, where should we start? Where should we start? Surveying the pageant of life as it passes us by while we stand on the corner of the street with our little paper shaker.
Back to footballing in the other FA Cup fourth round replays. Wolves beat Sheffield Wednesday on penalties and Norwich knocked out Coventry 3-1. And in the European Super Cup, Arsenal lost 2-0 to AC Milan. Independent Radio News.
And your weather for the remainder of the night. Dry and clear on the whole, but very, very cold. Down to -5 Celsius, 23 Fahrenheit. Very cold tonight. Tomorrow, Thursday that is, isolated wintry showers near the coast at first, but then generally fine and dry with good periods of winter sunshine and Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Cold with a top temperature of only 4 Celsius, 39 Fahrenheit, and Thursday night, another very frosty night in store.
The new Hallam FM.
So there we are. Now then, this is not good news. The weather forecast is not good news for our next caller, who is Gary from Doncaster, because I think research has revealed, and I know a lot of people are very fond of this statistic, that 80% of your body heat escapes through the top of your head. So you're in a mess, aren't you?
You what? What a cheek! I don't know how you've got the nerve. Hey, I'm going to photograph of you, don't forget. The new Hallam FM brochure. You can't talk.
Oh, my chest. Oh,
You've got a chin like a cricket bat.
Oh, an ironing board, I've heard it described as.
A nose like a Concorde.
Yes.
And what do you weigh, about 11 stone?
Oh, yes, forgive me. I was heavyweight champion of Belton, yeah. Can't compare with you, can I?
Do you know what Jay said?
No.
He said that I'm a lot better looking than what you are.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
You didn't get the job on Blackpool Pleasure Beach, then?
Hey, you haven't read my letter out.
It's very offensive to one of my colleagues.
It's a classic.
Yes, it is, actually.
Go on, then, are you going to read it?
What's this?
Are you going to read that letter? What's this business about 3 out of 5?
What? What's 3 out of 5?
You mentioned something about this dreadful Peter of Kirk Sandal.
Kirk Sandal, yeah.
What a place that is.
Kirk Sandal? It's makes me think of that film, The Vikings, because that had Kirk Douglas in it, didn't it? And they all wore sandals.
And I'll tell you something else about this Peter.
What?
He's a bit on gutless side, isn't he? I mean, why didn't he phone up?
I don't know. I think he felt that this was probably a better way of setting a trap for you.
All this letter writing and no phone call, it's disgraceful.
Well, here you are. You see, you come along all unsuspecting, like Alan, your compatriot, your townsman, coming along there, and there it is, you see, all set up for him. Brilliant. But you have actually sent me your very own business card
Of course.
with your likeness on it. A sing-along with Gary.
Ah, no, I don't do sing-alongs. How dare you?
What do you do then? A bit of toccata and fugue in G and all that?
Oh, a bit of all sorts, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm very disappointed at, Gary.
Why?
That for a man who is whose talents are musical, you tend to have you feel that you have ambitions in the vocal field, in the oral area, whereas we've not had much demonstration of your musical skills, have we? I would have thought, radio being a largely aural medium, that you'd have got your Yamaha out for us on more than one occasion.
What do you mean? I don't sing.
God blimey, what am I doing here?
You just said vocals.
Yes.
That's voice.
Voice, yes, voice. Nothing to do with singing, voice.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
What?
I'll send you the cassette tape.
Well, I thought we could have... When you're airing your lunatic right-wing political views on the air...
Yeah.
And trying to tell your sadly misguided jokes...
Hey, do you know what I found? Do you know what I found out today?
You could have accompanied yourself with a little bit of Pearl and Dean music in the background, you know.
Yeah, I know, but all the gear's upstairs. Listen.
What?
Do you know what I found out today?
Aye.
Hey, don't say what. How dare you?
What's the matter with you?
Well, if anybody says, if you say something to somebody and they say what, you always say, don't say what.
Yeah, but that's what as in pardon, not what as in which.
I said, I'll tell you something. You said, what?
Yeah, I didn't mean pardon. I heard you say I'll tell you something. Summit.
Oh, you'll get out of hope.
What? Go on, what did you discover today?
I found out that you can still be sentenced to death
Yeah.
for treason.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, do you know what that means?
Treason, yes.
And piracy.
Yes.
So there.
And arson in a naval dockyard.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes, of course it's true. And for for carnal knowledge of a member of the royal family.
Yeah.
Right. So none of which I intend to commit in the near future.
Come on, let's get down to this. What about 3 out of 5? What did you mean?
Well, your mate who grassed you up, you see, this is what your friends really think of you, Gary.
Yeah.
He,
well, hang on. Don't be too hasty with the words. I mean, who's a friend?
Who's a friend?
Yeah.
Peter.
Is he a friend?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the closest you're going to get, I would think. He said he's short, fat and skint and has ginger hair and an enormous bushy ginger beard.
Right, so we've got short. Well, that's wrong.
Oh.
We've got fat. That's definitely wrong.
Oh, aye.
We've got skint. That's totally untrue.
Oh.
Come on, what's the others?
Well, you've got no hair at all.
Well, I'll give him that one. Hey, never mind no hair at all.
Yeah, go on, what?
There's a little bit left.
Oh, is there?
Go on, I'll give you that.
Listen, I want to know where... tell me the joke shop where you got this head from that you're wearing in the photograph. I want one.
You don't need one, pal. Not with that photograph that's going around on New Hallam FM brochures. Are you reading this letter about Mark Meadow?
It says, James, I'm so glad you're back. You're so much better to listen to than stuttering Mark Meadowhall.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
I hope from the bottom of my heart that you're never ill again. Yours sincerely, Gary. Yeah. Well, thank you for your good wishes. I obviously cannot in any way condone such scurrilous remarks about a colleague, fellow broadcaster, and professional such as Mr. Meadowhall.
I bet you've shown him letter, haven't you?
Mr.
I bet you've stuffed that letter down his throat.
Meadowbank Thistle. Not at all, no. We're all one big happy family here at the New Hallam FM.
Yeah, well...
Anyway, which particular social issue was it which has been preoccupying you, Gary?
Hey, I'll tell you what I wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
You know when there's double yellow lines on the side of a road?
Yeah.
Well, there's a statute which is quite specific on the description of how they're actually to be laid. Right, it goes into the thickness and all that, you know.
Yes.
And if somebody's left, if somebody, let's say they've dug a bit of road up, you know, to do a bit of repair jobs,
Yeah.
and they've laid some fresh tar,
Yes. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear this old wives' tale, which we're obviously just about to do. Go on.
and they've put this fresh tar down, and it happens to be a car length, you know.
Yeah.
If you park in that space between two double yellow lines,
Yeah.
that's legal.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's legal.
Well, that's very useful. If I ever come across a gap in some yellow lines a car's length, then I shall park there with impunity.
It's interesting to know that, isn't it?
Do you know,
There's a spot opposite our local library, see, and it's been there about 6 months. And it's ever handy to just pull on that space.
well, there you are. Hey, not much passes you by. As it happens, I do know some very interesting things about traffic regulations.
Yeah.
First of all, who was it? It was someone in show business. Was it Spike Milligan? No, I don't think he drives, does he? It was someone. Oh dear, who was it? Anyway, he was done for failing to stop at a white line, you know, a give way sign. And in his defence, he claimed that he was driving along and a policeman with a bucket of whitewash ran out into the road and painted the white line in front of him. Oh, aye. He stood up in court and said that with a straight face.
Never.
Oh, yeah. Who was it? It was someone balmy. Yeah.
A policeman with a bucket of whitewash.
Yeah. He said he stopped and the policeman painted the white line behind him and made it look as if he'd driven over it. Now, listen, I'll tell you something. Now,
Yeah.
this was told to me by a police officer in charge of one of the traffic departments, you know. And I'd contacted them because there's this road which is supposed to be 3 lanes going out of a busy central square in Manchester, right?
Yeah.
Lever Street, it's called. And it's supposed to be 3 lanes and then it goes to 2, but there are double yellow lines on either side. And there are a lot of, like, cash and carries on either side of it.
Yeah.
And people park there all day. All day, right?
Well, people park anywhere in Manchester.
They do. It's shocking. Honestly, it's getting like Bangkok. It's wicked.
Hey, do you know, do you know Oldham?
Do I know Oldham? Of course I know Oldham. Yeah.
Right. Well, just wondered.
Just checking. Oh, yes.
I've got some friends. I've got some friends in Oldham.
Oh, really?
Oh, they know you from a long way back.
Oh, do they?
They do.
How lucky they are. Anyway, can I tell you this now?
Yeah, go on.
Right. So what happened? There was a Merc sports car there, what they call the SLE or something. They're about 75 grand, and it is a park on this double yellow line all day long, right? With, wait for this, a disable sticker in the windscreen.
Yeah.
Right. So this used to naff me off because all the traffic, because of the one-way system, it all has to go out of Lever Street to go north, you see.
Yeah.
There's only one way out if you're going north, and that's Lever Street. And of course, there's traffic parked on both sides of the road, so where there should be 3 lanes, there's 2 at a pinch, 1 if you've got a wagon or anything trying to get through. The traffic all blocks up. There's a box junction that everyone goes into before they can see this parked traffic. They get in there, they have to stop. The buses coming across it can't get out. The whole thing grinds to a halt, right? And it's because these people think that they can park there all day. If you've got a Merc 200 SLE, the chances are that a £6 parking ticket isn't going to... You'd rather pay a £6, whatever it is. No, 20 quid now, isn't it? You can probably pay £20 a day parking because it'll save you...
Doesn't matter.
No, you'd be, saves you the walk.
Saves you the walk, yeah.
So I was blazing about this.
Well, that don't matter, does it? Because if somebody's prepared to pay costs,
Yeah.
well, it's all money towards government, isn't it?
Yeah, but it disrupts all the traffic.
I'll tell you what I can't understand about traffic.
I'm going to listen. Will you let me finish the story? So I wrote to listen. There's something. You're a man whose life is so empty that you take.
What are you talking about, empty?
You take an interest in double yellow lines. So I'm going to.
I only select certain pieces of information that I think will be suitable for your show.
Right, well, listen. In that case, thank you for sparking off this thought process.
Go on.
Now, so I wrote to the Chief Constable. Right, obviously he doesn't read it, but somebody gets it. So the traffic wallers come round and said, we've received your complaint, so we're looking into it. We know it's a very serious problem. And they go through all this, drawings of the road and all that. And I know this is just like, oh, shut him up, This is, that bloke off the wireless has been in touch. We better do something about it. Okay. So they go through all this rigmarole. And, of course, nothing ever happens. Right, 6 months later, never heard back from them. Right. So, and as I'd said in the letter, look, these people they're causing an obstruction. They're disrupting the whole of the traffic in the absolute city centre.
Did they know it weren't a joke, though?
Oh, yeah. So they get away with it day in, day out. I said, I come into town 6 days a week. I said, and the same vehicles are always there. And what's going on? Anyway, this Bobby eventually, they came and saw me again. He said, look, there's something. He said, we're up a gum tree here. And he said, and it's not something which is widely known. And we don't make a lot of fuss about it, because the fewer people who know about this aspect of the law, the better. Otherwise...
Which aspect of the law?
The one I'm just about to tell you.
Go on, then.
He said, under Section 27 of the Road Traffic Act, he said, if you are delivering or collecting valuables, you can park where you want.
If you're delivering or collecting valuables?
Yes. Now then, he said, a double yellow line, sign on the lamppost saying at any time. He said, under Section 27 of the Road Traffic Act, you are exempt if you are delivering or collecting valuables. He said, and that includes if you want to go to a cash point to get a fiver out of the machine, you can park on double yellow lines, and if a bobby says you shouldn't be parked there, hold up a fiver and say, I was collecting this sum of money, officer.
So you're telling me that if I go to an Olink wall...
That's right.
As a average civilian...
Yeah.
I can park where I want...
This...
At any time...
This was told to me by an inspector in the traffic division.
Well, it's easy enough to check, isn't it?
It is. Now, he said we could go and try and book all those people. He said, all they've got to say is that I've just come in here to collect some wages or to deliver some money or to collect something that's worth...
What about...
And we haven't got a leg to stand on. He said, that is why the fewer people know about it, the better, because...
So you've just told it over at radio, good.
Yeah, but you don't go down Lever Street, do you? So I'm not bothered.
Well, I should imagine it applies in any town.
Yes, of course it applies in any town, you Burt.
What about if you've got to enter a no motoring zone in order to get to the hole in the wall?
Well, that's an interesting one. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, Gary. You try it in Doncaster.
Ah! And I'll tell you something else. Listen, you were on about Germany the other night. Yeah, listen.
Yeah. Oh, you can park in there.
You were on about speed limits in Germany. They brought out a law which restricted them.
That's right.
And they had to scrap it.
Yeah,
well, they didn't have to scrap it. What they should have done was just kept fining people and fining people and fining people until they were richest country in the world.
Well,
because they'd soon pack in.
Well, you better tell the Gestapo or whatever it is.
Well, you know what the Germans are like.
Oh, I don't know. Are they tall and blonde and blue-eyed? I think I'm right in saying. Apart from Uwe Rösler.
Well, I'm interested in that because I'm doing a law course. You didn't know that, did you?
Yeah.
There you go, you see.
Hey, tell me something. Is your organ, is it a Yamaha?
No.
Oh, what is it?
It's a Technic.
All right. Because I was interested in those Yamahas. I mean, how do people win those races in the Isle of Man on one?
I've no idea.
Very clever, isn't it? Right, well, I'll tell you what. You try parking.
I'll tell you what makes you feel healthy.
You conduct a series of experiments. What?
It's no good to you, but any caller that rings you up, if they can out last word with you and hang up before you do,
Yeah.
it makes you feel great.
Does it really? Right. Okay, thank you. That was our nightly visitation from Gary, who is available for manipulations of his organ 24 hours a day. He is, of course, an FLSM, a double LSM, a TD, an L of music, an LSM, CTVCM, AVCM, Avon Calling, professional musician, registered teacher of music, and he is the regional, this is a beauty, he is regional organiser for the Lancashire School of Music, Yorkshire area, which defeats me. There we are. Thank you. And I tell you what, one of the few souvenirs of my radio career which I shall treasure is this photograph of Gary. Oh dear, but he keeps coming back for more, doesn't he? Hey, and we'll be back for more in just a moment. It's the new Hallam FM. It's James H. Reeve. It's 21 minutes past midnight, and this is a commercial break.
Roll up for the greatest show in town. 3,400, 3,000...
And the school owes it to you to do that. I'll tell you a little tale. You'll like this. I like this. It is Monday morning. It is 9:15. The class are seated and the door opens and in comes a straggler. 15 minutes late for school. This is a true story, Matthew.
Yeah.
It's primary school, I should point out. And the kids are 6, 7. Quite important. So in comes the straggler and says, please, miss, I'm sorry I'm late. I forgot my dinner money. Right. Oh, says the teacher. Oh, we forgot our dinner money, did we? Look, everyone, he's forgotten his dinner money. And what did the class start doing?
Laughing.
That's right, Matthew. I think you say that with a certain... Oh, I think it hurts a little bit, that, doesn't it? Right. Well, she says, it would be no good if we all forgot our dinner money, would it? Hey? And had to go home and get it. Because then we'd all be late, wouldn't we? Look, everyone, he's come without his dinner money. More laughter. Now, you can probably imagine what was going through that kid's mind. I think that is a very dangerous, damaging, and cowardly thing to do. Because it's all very well when you are an adult and you are 5 foot odd tall and you can summon up the not particularly cognizant cooperation of 30 odd allies to laugh at a small child. You'll like the next bit, Matthew. Did I tell you the next bit?
Yeah, go on.
Right. At this point, the classroom door flies open to its fullest extent to reveal the mother of the child who was late, because the mother had taken him back home to get his dinner money and brought him into school. And she had witnessed this behaviour by the teacher. And I'll tell you what, the parent made an appointment to see the head teacher and said that she would not have her child humiliated in this fashion in front of the class. And the parent got a written letter of apology. from the teacher. Was that a nice story?
Yeah.
Right. Because we like nice stories, don't we?
Yeah.
This is, of course, not to say that there are occasions when children should do as they're told and get on with it and stop acting the goat and not be barrack room lawyers, provided, of course, that all this is done with the best interests of the child at heart and is done in a reasonable and sensible fashion.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you approach your form teacher and say, I'd like a word with you, please, over a matter which is causing me some concern. I am unhappy, and I wonder if you can help me.
Mm.
Does that sound feasible to you?
Yeah. Can I tell you a joke before I go?
Oh, well, now you're completely cured. Yes, by all means.
Right then, how many Irishmen does it take to put a light bulb in?
Oh, I know this one. It's something about turning. Yeah, go on.
2. One to put light bulb and other to turn him round.
Yes, that's probably quite appropriate. No. Well, listen, that's not the attitude, Matthew, to endear people to you. I think a lot of people have been in sympathy with your plight now. They've been picturing this poor little victimised Herbert at school. You've certainly lost any sympathy you may have had amongst our Irish listeners. That was just a gag, that. I heard it was 40-odd to turn the room round. But anyway, never mind. Right, clear off now, but do that. Do that as soon as possible when you go back to school, which I don't know when that is. Probably in March, is it? Shocking. Right, that was Matthew in somewhere ghastly. This is Marilyn. Hello.
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 Hello, James.
James, yes.
Yes. I don't know if you got my letter, did you, or did you not?
Oh, I had many letters, Marilyn.
I know, but this was a registered one. Did you get it? And did you sign for it, or did you not?
Well, it was signed on my behalf because it came.
I see.
It came to Goods Inward.
I see, right.
Yes.
Oh, well, not to worry about that.
Okay.
I just want to say, this little boy you've just been talking to now.
Yes.
There's 3 things, but this particular little boy that you've talked to now, you did you ever read the Cider with Rosie?
I've not read it. I saw it on telly.
Oh well, you know, it's regarded as a classic now in schools. It's the story of his life in the village, and the absolutely wonderful story about this boy that was picked on, or even by the class, and he was in a terrible state, and the teacher used to do it as well as the whole class. And I'm sure you must have read it. The thing is,
no, I just said,
one day he said,
wait, I haven't read it, but I remember that it was a series on TV, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, this is true, of course. This is another true story. And the boy who was being humiliated by all the class and by the teacher himself, and she's the dragon. He gets her up. He gets hold of her and he sticks her on top of the cupboard in the classroom, and from then onwards he's regarded as an absolute marvel by all the class, and nobody picks on him ever again. But I thought perhaps you had read that story.
No, as I say, I've seen it on the telly.
It's a very true story, and of course he's a wonderful writer. He's marvellous. Anyway, apart from that, the other thing is...
Marilyn, you're not suggesting that Matthew should...
Oh, no, I don't, but I thought you would know that story, and as he's regarded as a classic now amongst all, through the Educational Authority, I thought perhaps you, being very well read, would have read it.
I haven't picked up...
Oh, no, well, you ought to read it, and you'll get great fun out of it, because it's very true, and he is a natural poet, even although he writes this story. It's called, his first book is Cider with Rosie. It was a bestseller, and then he wrote I Walked Out One May Morning, and he goes to Spain with a violin, and he lives by playing the violin, you know.
Right.
But, however, we'll get off that. The other point is...
Who wrote Started with Rosie? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yes, it's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't remember it, believe it or not. However, you must find out who wrote it, because he is a classic.
I will. Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, I want to say how delighted I was. I heard you speak to this young boy about unidentified flying objects. Do you remember the other night?
Yes, I do.
Yes, well, I thought your response to him was marvellous. And the other thing is, I want to say this. You also spoke to some man who was dealing with the subject of violence. Do you remember that?
Yes, it was last night.
Was it last
yes,
night?
It was,
it was last night. Well, you also bared your soul. Do you remember you saying, I bared my soul?
I bared my soul, well...
Well, you did, didn't you? And you spoke about your childhood. And I must say, James, my heart went out to you. And I'm going to bare my soul just a little bit now.
Okay.
And I want to say this, that I am not a pillar of the church. I'm not a conventional religious person, but I do believe in prayer, you know. I believe in it. And and also my real name is not Marilyn, so nobody knows me, you know.
Your secret is
That's
safe
my
with me.
secret,
Right.
yes. The thing is this, that after what you said about your early childhood, my heart went out to you, and you will be in my intercession every day from now on.
I'll be in you what?
Don't you know what intercession means?
Well,
there's petition and intercession. You know, you're very well educated on a lot of points, but on theological points, you haven't got, you know, you just need a little bit more.
Yeah, a bit, yes.
Yeah, right. Well, anyway, from now on, you will know that somebody in the world will be mentioning you every single day. And I hope you have a lovely new year.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah, well, that's all I want to say.
There's only one person that I would like to mention more than yourself mentioning me, Marilyn.
Yeah.
And that would be that bloke who does the National Lottery.
Oh, well, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe in chance, you know. I don't really. And I don't believe in money. I just believe in people.